I wrote a book about peace to help my kids deal with their fears, and I'd love to share it with you and your family now. Why don't you go get your kids and get them comfortable, pause this video, and then when you're ready, hit play again. You ready? Great. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to talk to you a little bit about birds, because my book's about birds today. I wonder if you have a favourite bird that you love. I wonder if you like really big birds, like ostriches with really big strong legs that run really fast. I wonder if you like little tiny birds, like really wagtails or swallows or something that just kind of dart around. Maybe you like really beautiful birds, birds that make beautiful songs. Maybe you like birds that are a bit quirky and can swim like other birds can't. Well, my favourite bird is a pink and grey galah. I wonder if you've seen one of them before. They're my favourite bird because when I was young, my family had a pet pink and grey galah. Now this looks nothing like a pink and grey galah. I'm sorry, I don't have a pink and grey galah puppet, but I want to tell you about some of the funny things that my pet pink and grey galah used to do. His name was Sully. You couldn't leave the pantry open because he loved onions. If you left the pantry open, he would go into the pantry and peck holes in all the onions, so when you went to use them, they're all holy. And he'd have really stinky onion breath, so you had to keep the pantry shut all the time when Sully was around. He also used to come and crawl up your shoulder and sit on your shoulder during lunch or dinner. And when you were trying to feed yourself your food, he would eat it off your spoon before you could get it into your mouth. He was really cheeky. And the final thing that he liked, I know this sounds really weird, but it wasn't at the time. He really loved showers. So if he could hear you having a shower, he would come and knock on the door with his little beak, and then you'd open the door and let him in. You knew who it was. And he would come in the shower with you, and he'd throw his wings up in the air, and he'd squawk and run under the water. He loved it. He just thought it was the best thing ever. He was a very funny pet. So we're going to read a story about a bird called Sully today, a pink and grey galah. There's a picture of one there. So I hope you're comfortable. Let's read this story together. Sully awoke from his sleep to a loud sound. He opened one eye and looked around. The sun was just peeking through the trees. He opened the other eye and gave each of his wings a long stretch. Then he heard it again. He let out a startled little squawk. Where was the sound coming from? He was glad to see it was only his dad, but he seemed to be doing something very strange. His mum was still snuggled up in the nest next to him with his little sister, so he gave her a little peck to find out what was happening. Sully, good morning, she said sleepily before closing her eyes again. Mum, what's Dad doing? He asked. Oh, he got woken up early this morning by Old Man Carnaby. He said there's a storm on the way and that we need to get ready for strong winds. Mum gave a yawn and tucked her beak back into her warm feathers. Strong winds, said Sully thoughtfully. He suddenly felt a funny feeling in his tummy. Must be hungry, he thought to himself. He spread his wings and glided over to his favourite spot for catching bugs. Sully rustled around and found 4 earthworms and a fat hopper in no time at all. Feeling very pleased with himself, he looked over to see what Dad was up to. He was working hard, carrying strong branches up to their nest and arranging them around the edges. Sully remembered the last time there was a storm. He remembered the loud noises. He remembered the beating rain that seemed to go on forever. He remembered the way the sky slowly grew darker and darker, but then suddenly would be as bright as day for just a moment. He remembered the sound of the strong winds blowing in his nest. That funny feeling in his tummy was back. Could he be hungry again already? What do you think? Now Mum and Baby Pip were awake, and Sully could hear his sister squawking loudly. Mum flew from the nest over to a thick bush to find Pip some food. Sully wasn't sure why, but he wanted to be close to her. Mum, he asked quietly. Yes, she mumbled. She had a worm in her mouth that was still wriggling. Mum, I don't feel well. That's not good. Is your tummy hurting? She replied, digging for another worm. Yes, said Sully. I thought I was hungry, but I've already had a big brekkie and it still doesn't feel any better. Well, it's probably that old chip you found in the park yesterday. I told you not to eat it. Man food isn't good for us birds. Sully, you need to remember that. Mum was digging and gobbling as she spoke. I'm getting Pip her breakfast. Can you go tell Dad you aren't feeling well? He might take you to get some peppermint leaves. Okay, said Sully. Dad was perched near the nest, holding a large branch. Sully landed quietly next to Dad. Hey, son, said Dad, fixing the branch in place. Mum told me to ask if you can get me some peppermint leaves. She's busy feeding Pip. Hearing her name, Pip threw her wings up in the air and let out 3 desperate squawks. Well, looks like Mum better hurry up. Little Pip is starving over here. Son, I'm pretty busy, but if you can help me with this nest when we get back, I think we should be ready by the time the storm comes. They heard the distant rumble of thunder. Let's go, said Dad. They flew quickly over the river, past Old Man Carnaby's tree and over to the dam where the peppermint trees grew. What do we need the peppy for anyway? Asked Dad as he carefully plucked a stem from the tree with his beak. Well, Mum said it might help with my sore tummy, said Sully, looking down. Oh, Sully, have you been eating chips again? I told you they're rubbish. Even the people shouldn't be eating them, Dad said as he passed the leaves to Sully. Have a few now, and I'll carry the rest home. Sully chewed and chewed on the tough leaves and felt the cool peppermint on his tongue. The thunder rumbled again. Dad looked up to the sky. Come on, son, we need to get ready. He spread his wings and led the way home. Back at the nest, Pip was happily playing with a gum nut. Dad, Mum and Sully worked together to collect the best branches they could find and weave them into the nest to make it strong and secure. As they worked, the wind grew stronger and stronger. The thunder rumbles got louder and louder. Sully looked up at the dark sky. I don't think the peppermint is working, Mum, he said. You're still not well, she asked, putting down her branch and wrapping her wing around his little body. No, I think it's getting worse, he whispered into her chest. Oh, my poor love, you're shivering too. You've been so quiet all morning, she said as she thought. She pulled him in closer. Is there something that you're thinking about a lot? There was a long pause. The storm, Sully finally whispered, a little tear rolling down his feathery cheek. Oh, Sully, she whispered and held him close. Storms are powerful, aren't they? And we have no way of avoiding them. We just have to prepare as best we can and leave the rest to God. What do you mean? Asked Sully. Well, when we think about the bad and scary things that might happen today or tomorrow, they start to be the boss over us. If we're full of worries and fears, we feel sick and weak. But God tells us a new way of thinking. He says, don't be afraid, because I am with you. God is with me? Asked Sully. Yes, he is, my darling. He's promised that he isn't going to leave us. He is always with his children. We might get hurt by this storm, or we might not. We don't get to choose which will happen. But we can choose to catch the thoughts that are making us feel scared or worried and think instead about who is right here with us. We can remember how strong and powerful he is instead. Plop. Ooh. Sully felt a heavy drop of rain fall onto his head. Quick, Sully, let's get to the nest. Dad was just finishing putting the branches together when Sully and Mum landed in the nest. Okay, I need your help to get this over us. Clever Dad had woven together some branches with lots of fresh leaves, which could act as a covering for the family while they sheltered in the nest. The 3 of them pulled the branches up and quickly squeezed in under them. They huddled together in the warm, strong nest. Dad, Sully has been feeling worried about the storm today, said Mum. That's why your tummy was feeling funny, Dad said, cuddling up close to him. Yes, I think it was. Mum has been telling me about how I need to catch my scary thoughts and think about what God has told us instead. That's right, son, said Dad. Mum and I have had to learn to do this over many, many years, and many, many storms and other scary things that have come. You can start to practice now, since you're growing up into a big galah. You know, this reminds me of a story about Jesus going for a boat ride with his friends. The rain was starting to get heavier and heavier, and a loud crack of thunder sounded very close. But Sully didn't seem to notice. Oh, please, can you tell me the story, Dad? Pip squawked in agreement. I'd love to. Jesus and his friends were in a boat travelling across a big lake. When they were far from the land, a big storm came over them, and they were scared. The waves were coming up over the sides of the boat, and it was filling with water. Things looked bad. What was Jesus doing? Asked Sully. He was sleeping in the boat with his head on a pillow, laughed Dad. He wasn't worried at all. His friends came over and woke him up and asked, Jesus, don't you care about us? We're going to drown! Jesus got up and told the wind and waves what to do. Quiet, be still, he said. And do you know what happened? Asked Dad. What? Asked Sully in suspense. The wind and the waves stopped. The lake was calm. Jesus said to his friends, do you still have no faith? Why are you afraid? You see, when we are afraid or worried, we aren't trusting in God. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow and every day after, and we can trust him that whether we live or die, he is in control and his plans for us are good. Dad, Jesus must have had faith in God if he could go to sleep during such a big, scary storm. Yes, Sully, Jesus had perfect faith in God all the time. He knew that everything that God allowed to happen to him, good things and bad things, were part of God's plans, his good plans. Somehow, our God is able to bring good things, even out of the hard and scary things that happen to us. Wow, said Sully. That is what our God is like? He sat quietly for a moment, listening to the loud whistle of the wind and the beating down of the rain over their heads. Hey, my tummy feels better. Well, that is good news, said Mum, giving him a little kiss on the cheek. That is what happens when we put our faith in God and remember who he is, instead of thinking about the scary things that are going on. He is able to give us peace anywhere, even in the middle of a storm. I feel so much better. I'm so glad that he is here with us now, smiled Sully. Me too, said Dad. Mum started to sing, Be Thou My Vision, O Lord of my heart. Dad joined in. Sully snuggled in next to them. His sister was snoring already. He closed his eyes and listened to the song. He listened to the rain, the wind, and the thunder. Still, he felt safe. He wasn't worried or scared because he wasn't thinking about the storm. He was thinking about his friend, God, who was with him in the rain, wind, and thunder in his nest. He was a big and powerful God who loved Sully very much. He drifted happily off to sleep in the middle of the storm. That's the end. Thank you so much for listening. Now I have written a little bit of a song as well that we're going to sing now together. But before we sing it, I just want to talk a little bit about fears, because sometimes fears are actually helpful. A funny thing to think about. Some fears are good for us. Imagine that you are walking down the road with your mum, maybe your little brother and sister, and suddenly you hear a big dog come running down from this house into the front yard. Your heart might start to beat really fast. You might start to feel a bit funny in your tummy, and some things are going on in your body to tell you that you are frightened of that dog. You're feeling a bit scared. And do you know what? That fear is actually really helpful because it's going to help you to make a good decision not to jump the fence and go into that yard. And it's probably going to keep you alive. So sometimes our fears actually really help us. They help to keep us alive. But sometimes our fears do the opposite. They stop us from being able to live our lives and do what God has made us to do. Those are bad fears. We don't want them in our lives. We've got to do something about them to get rid of them. So the first thing that we need to do is to understand, to be able to read the signs in our bodies when we have those bad fears that are trying to take control over us and be the boss of us. Because when we know that's happening, we can know what to do and sort them out. So I'm going to sing you a song first, and it's about one of the things that you might feel in your body happen when you start to be afraid and when the fears start to be the boss of you. So I'm going to sing it for you, and then let's talk about some actions, because actions are fun. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. When my scary thoughts become the boss of me, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid and fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. Beautiful. So nice and simple. Move back a bit so you can see the ukulele, not my face so much. So let's do some actions now, and hopefully you can sing along. Hopefully it's easy enough for you to just remember the words. So sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. What part of your body could you shake then? Could you shake your knees? Oh, you can't see my knees. Shake your knees. Shake your legs. Shake your arms. Or shake your head. That's fun. Shake all of your body if you like. Shake any bit of it. So we sing that twice. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. When my scary thoughts become the boss of me, when we sing this line, I just want you to act really petrified. Like there's something behind you and you're not sure what it is and it's just really freaking you out. So just be like really, things are scary. My scary feelings are the boss of me. And then when you sing, I'll tell you what I'll do. Now this is when we've realized that our scary thoughts, they're trying to be the boss of us. They are not the boss of us. So we're going to tell them, and we're going to tell all of our friends and everybody else, I'll tell you what I'll do. So that's when we get assertive again, and we say, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to catch the thoughts that make us feel afraid. We're going to sing that twice. And while you're singing that, I want you to just pretend you're catching some scary thoughts. You can do little handy catches, or you can give it a big kind of a bear hug catch, or whatever you feel like. Go crazy. And then I'm going to fill my mind. Now, I could not think of a good action for this. One of my friends said that I should just pretend that I've got two big old pouring jugs, one in each hand, and I'm just going to pour them into my brain, into my mind. So you can do that. If you can think of something better, you can tell me, because that would really help. And then we sing that twice, fill my mind with God's truth. Beautiful. So we just pretend that we've got a little Bible in our hands to do that line. So we're going to sing it again together now. Hopefully you can join in. I want to see all those actions and sing really loud too if you can. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. When my scary thoughts become the boss of me, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. And fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. Beautiful. So we're gonna sing it again. This time we're gonna sing. Sometimes when I feel afraid, my heart beats really fast. Have you ever experienced that? Maybe when you saw a big dog, or maybe when you were at school and you were about to have to go up and speak on the microphone, or maybe somewhere else. You're about to go and speak on the microphone in front of everyone. Maybe your heart would have been beating really fast. You know, that still happens to me. Your heart beats really fast and it feels like it is just going to burst out of your chest. So this time we're going to sing that. My heart beats really fast. Bang your heart. And all the other actions are going to stay the same. All right, I'm going to see if I get the chords right this time. Sometimes when I feel afraid, my heart last time. This time we're going to sing. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I breathe really hard. Don't hyperventilate. Got it? Let's go. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I breathe really hard. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I breathe really hard. When my scary thoughts become the boss of me, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. And fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. Beautiful. Really sorry about the missed chords there. I was getting too into the song. I still find it a little bit hard to do the actions while playing. Sorry about that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little game because games are fun. So it's going to take a little bit of explaining. First thing, have you got a parent in the room with you watching this now? If you don't, could you please pause the video, go and get one, because there might be a little bit of a need for an adjudicator supervisor at this time. So pause the video, go grab a parent. You've got one? Great. Okay. So what you need to do is get yourselves into a little formation, into a little circle if you can. If you've got room on the floor, you can stand up. Doesn't really matter. So get yourselves into a circle so that you can pass something between yourselves. And then the next thing that I need you to do is to just, feel around on the ground, feel, and just pick up something that you can pass around between you while I sing the song. If by chance there's a toilet brush on the floor next to you, don't use that. Maybe just go run and put it back where it belongs now. That's really weird. Like I said, just feel around on the ground, whatever is there, like a toy or something. Just pick. What is this? An electric fly swatter. Dangerous. Don't choose this, okay? Brothers especially, do not choose this. Not fun. Okay, look, we're going to try one more time. Just, feel around on the ground and grab something like a soft toy. Like a soft toy. Oh, that's so nice. Choose something like a soft toy. All right, I want one of you, probably the oldest, just go and run and grab something a bit like this, not like those other things. And grab something that you can pass around the circle between yourselves, something nice and safe and cuddly. Okay, have you got something? So what's going to happen is that thing is going to be passed around the circle while we sing the first part of the song. And after I sing, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to stop the music. Whoever is holding the teddy when the music stops, they are going to pretend to be the scary thought. And they're going to try to run away and get away with just running away. And we're not going to let them do that, are we? Because we've got our scary thoughts are not the boss of us. They're not in control. So whoever that person is that runs away with the teddy, when the music starts again, everyone else has got to run and go and catch them, just like the song says. So catch that scary thought person and tell them they are not the boss. And then once you've caught them, bring them back and hopefully you can join in for the rest of the chorus with me. So we're going to go back to shaking. All right, start passing that teddy around. When the music stops, whoever's got the teddy, run like your life depends on it. Okay? Ready? Let's go. Passing. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I shake, shake, shake. When my scary thoughts become the boss of me, I'll tell you what I'll do. Who's got the teddy? Run! Are they running? Okay, run away and hide. I'm just going to give them a little bit of time the first time so that we make sure that we're ready. So don't chase them yet. I hope you're not chasing yet. When the music starts, you can chase. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. And fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. Beautiful. Did you catch them? We've got to catch those scary thoughts. Sometimes it takes a bit of work. Sometimes you might get a bit puffed out doing it, but we've got to do it. It's good for us. So we're going to do it again. Hopefully that all makes sense. So remember, get your toy again. Somebody, maybe the oldest child, start with the toy this time. When the music starts, pass it around. Keep passing, keep passing, keep passing. And then when it stops, whoever's got it, run, 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 like the wind. And when the music starts again, everyone can chase them and catch that scary thought. Okay, are we ready? Don't forget to come back. Sometimes when I feel afraid, my heart beats really fast. Sometimes when I feel afraid, my heart beats really fast. When my scary thoughts become little parts of me, I'll tell you what I'll do. Who's got the teddy? Run! Little bit of time, little bit of time. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. And fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. Did you catch them? You got them? Yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to catch those scary thoughts. So we're going to do it one last time. And this time I might not give quite so long for the scary thoughts to run away. So hopefully we'll catch them a lot quicker. I'm going to sing the chorus twice. So hopefully you'll catch the scary thoughts, bring them back and join in for the second chorus so that we can sing it together one last time. And remember this really important message. So breathe really hard. Pass that teddy. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I breathe really hard. Sometimes when I feel afraid, I breathe really hard. When my scary thoughts become little parts of me, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna catch. Oh, forgot to stop. Sorry, stop. Run, that person. All right, going with the chorus. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. And fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. One more time. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. I'm gonna catch the thoughts that make me feel afraid. And fill my mind. I'm gonna fill my mind with God's truth. Beautiful. Great work, everyone. Great scary thought catching. We've all got to do it, you know. I've got to do it still in my life. Your mum and dad might have to do it sometimes. It's not just a thing for kids. Everybody's got to do it. We all still have scary thoughts. So, actually, one last thing to say. What does it mean to fill your mind with God's truth? What does that mean? It means that we have got to put into our heads and think about and talk about and sing about God's word, the things that God has told us in the Bible. You might already do that with your family. I hope that you do. But if you don't, it's a great thing to do. It's the only way I have found that I can have peace, have this peace that God talks about. So one verse from the Bible that I really love to fill my mind with at times like this is from Isaiah 26 verse 3. It says, God, you give true peace to those who depend on you, to those who trust in you. What a great thing that God has told us. It's amazing. So definitely get into God's word and fill your mind with it when you need to. Thank you so much for coming and watching and participating and playing and everything. It's been really fun. I just want to say that if you want a copy of this book, you can download a free copy to print at home or read on your device from our Facebook page or from the website. There's also a 7-day study guide that you can do together as a family. It's aimed at primary school and high school age kids. And there's questions and things to read from the Bible and activities to do as well. So it's meant to be fun and engaging and a way for your family to really take a deeper dive into thinking about how we can make this real in our families' lives today. So if you like this video, please share it with your friends or with anyone else who you think might benefit from it. And if you have any feedback, I would love to hear it, positive or negative. It's just helpful for me to know what's helpful for you and what isn't. So please get in touch. Thank you so much for watching. And I just pray that God's peace would reign in your families today and every other day. Thanks. Bye.